To give me the energy we need to keep Jamaica and our people firm and strong. Stand up, labor rights. Stand up for justice. Stand up for truth. Labor rights are proud of their party.
In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, we shall have a victory. In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, we shall have a victory. Jamaica, no bother fuss, no bother fight. We did a for the labor right. No shaky boat because and we like. We did a for the labor right. The river come down green, it's so pretty and bright. We did a for the labor right. The way me love shower in a green, me baptized. We did a for the labor right. Right now me nah worry about visa. And we have one of the greatest leader. Me nah run way, go a foreign like Triple X and beef gravel leg out a freezer. Bout ya fit on green like Tracina. I would say always freeze for the teachers. We have the prettiest women like Anne-Marie Vaz and sexy Venetia. In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, we shall have a victory. In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, we shall have a victory. Oh no, center, my servant center. You know, St. James parameter. Our doctors did have to use garbage bag. Yo, does you go like an member? Now blessings that flow like river. Every bad prayer return to sender. Dr. Cole and Blair teeth drop out from when PNP never buy them no denture. In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, we shall have a victory. In the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, we shall have a victory.
Good morning, Labor Roots, and good morning to all other comebacks watching this channel. Welcome to another episode of Political Hard Talk. I am your host, none other than the greatest Laborite alive. Good morning, my people. Good morning. Now, guys, for the past couple of days, we have been having signal problems. So let's do visual check. Let's do audio check. Tell me if you not hear me. Tell me if you not see me. I'm sure if me did blurry or if you never hear me, you don't say already. However, you know, we still have to check just in case. See? Before we roll out the morning shoutouts, we just want to say R.I.P. to the legend, Sir Jimmy Cliff. You know, he's been around since way long before my time, you know, and we have grown up listening to his music. By the time I was old enough to understand his lyrics, you know, he was already an older gentleman to myself. However, I am an old soul, my people, you know, and I love everything that is older. You know, me like older vehicle, me like older house, me like older everything. See? So, you know, much respect to the legend. I love his music, you know, big fan of his. And, you know, I believe last night I heard Nadine Sunderland singing one of his songs, you know, and just to wake up this morning to hear that, you know, he died. So condolence goes out to Jimmy Cliff's family, you know, and his loved ones. So that my people. So let's roll out the morning shoutouts, and then we're going to get into some things this morning. Right? So Sylvan, big up yourself. UN, big up yourself. Mark, big up yourself. Rowan, big up yourself. Jakey, big up yourself. Michelle Thousand, good morning. Larry, big up yourself. Mama Winsome, good morning. Joan, big up yourself. Joanne, big up yourself. Glenn Muir, big up yourself. Jacqueline Chambers, big up. A. Hutchinson, good morning. Melody, good morning. Paulette, big up yourself. Caroline, big up yourself. Good morning to my beautiful mother-in-law. Sharon, big up yourself. Dennis, big up yourself. Steve, big up yourself. Marva, big up yourself. Who else is here? The phenomenal one, big up yourself. Jacqueline Thomas, good morning. Blendan, big up yourself. Good morning to my beautiful wife. Good morning, baby. Lorna, big up yourself. Mojo, big up yourself. Good morning. Lisa Hall, good morning. No, I couldn't come take one from the telethon last night because I didn't want to call in and donate, you know, what I could donate. No, you know, I was driving back to base last night and, you know, listening to the telethon, and me telling my people, my heart did full, you know, if you know, so this devastation hit our country and our people are suffering, you know, water kept running out of my eye, you know. I don't know, I am very patriotic and I love my country, and this is a natural disaster. Nobody done this to us. You know, this was an act of God. And, you know, even though I am very critical and very harsh in some of my statements sometimes, I love my nation, and it hurts, you know, really bad to really see that, you know, we are going through this as a people. You know, you know, I am trying to stay strong. You know, I'm sure other persons who have seen the devastation have broken down as well. But you know, last night was one such moment for me. However, for the person who's asking what happened to Jimmy Cliff, who is an elder, you know, he was ailing for a little while, I was told, and he has died. You know, he died. So Jimmy Cliff is dead. So RIP to him and condolence to his family. Now, Minister Vaz, who is doing a brilliant job, my people. We are going to bring some AI audio this morning as to what took place in the aftermath in Jamaica with the airports. See? But before we get into that, we have another statement from the Prime Minister at the G20 summit, and the Prime Minister is rubbing shoulder with some of the most powerful people in the world. And from my understanding, he is, you know, he's getting a lot of promises that people will help. See? So our Prime Minister is very loved. Our people back home don't love him, but the world respects him, my people. And he will go and he will secure the funding and he will bring it back. I saw somebody last night, somebody shared one of my posts on Facebook, and that post that was shared, one of my videos was shared. I noticed that somebody made a long paragraph under it saying that the government will be spending our NIR and no money will be left. No such thing. Our government, all the money that we need, it will be raised by way of funding and grants. May I tell you, we will not touch that NIR. If that was PNP, the NIR would start spend already, because this is how the PNP operates, you know, and then they will have to go and borrow. Right? So, before we get to the Prime Minister's speech, I want to listen to this, my people.
Specialist at the bank, Artesa Saldivar Sali, told Nationwide yesterday that the Jamaican government's response to the fallouts from Melissa is world leading. World leading. This is what she said to us on Nationwide at 5 yesterday afternoon.
I worked in the biggest countries in the world. I worked in the smallest countries in the world. I worked in post-disaster reconstruction in Indonesia, China, the Philippines, Turkey. Guess what? It is world leading that your National Works Agency has framework contracts with all their contractors, so that 6 days after landfall, you have 100 contractors all over Jamaica clearing roads. They're already there. They're stood up. These are contracting arrangements that are very rare, even in what we would think of as, you know, sophisticated places.
That's some senior infrastructure specialist at the World Bank, Artesa Saldivar Sali. You know, we are hard on ourselves, you know. We are hard on ourselves, but you heard what she said? Our response has been nothing short of world leading. She also commended the government in Jamaica for establishing various disaster risk management funds.
The readiness and the forward thinking of the government in putting together all of the financial instruments that provided Jamaica with immediate liquidity to be able to conduct relief, response, and early recovery immediately. And so
immediate liquidity mean cash, my people. See?
I think with these.
So me see live I doing the down. So don't tell me if I see you no can't see me. Tell me if I hear you no can't hear me. Or just the PNP them a bail off of the live because they don't like good news. See? So don't tell me what go on in the comment section.
Two examples and many, many others. I have to say, I have not seen anything like this. And as you say, this is not my first rodeo.
Wow. That's the senior infrastructure specialist at the World Bank, Artesa Saldivar Sali, yeah, saying the response of the Jamaican government to the destructive Hurricane Melissa is nothing short of world-leading, forward-thinking, yes? And some people will not like to hear that, yeah, and would not like to recognize that. But we have been doing pretty well, yeah, pretty well.
You know what I like to see my people? What I like DUJON'S to do another term as Prime Minister and either part way into that term or do the full term and step down and go on out in the world, go make some money. He deserve it, my people. Jamaica can't pay DUJON'S for a kind of leader that he is. See? So is either he need for, you know, do another term and just step aside and go work for the IMF, World Bank or UN or one of them big places that we can make some real money because Jamaica can't pay him and they don't deserve him. The Jamaican people are very ungrateful. You know what people then say? Jamaica's disaster preparedness is world leading. They never say it next to something or it is as good as something. It is world leading. We have forward thinking people leading the country and the people they can't bear. Especially the PNP them. They can't bear. And the lady have been working in that position for many years. She have been in many disaster zones. And she credits Jamaica with world leaders to preparing for this disaster. See? Let us move to the Prime Minister's speech. He did another speech at another section at the G20 yesterday, and we're going to bring that for you. Now, before we get to that, I want to say the telethon was very good yesterday. I fell asleep, so I'm not sure as to how much money was raised in the end. I'll need to go and check that. However, people are gonna say me tribal, and people are gonna say all kind of sin thing, and this is should be a moment that everybody come together and blah blah blah. Yeah, but me tell you something. I was very upset last night when I saw Tanya Stevens come on the stage. Me not like that none at all. Tanya Stevens not come nowhere near anything where government involved in, and nothing none at all. Especially she. She and in Africa not come nowhere near nothing where government are put on. They are very disrespectful and distasteful. And yes, people feel free for what say what them say, but what you say must have consequences. And Tanya Stevens should have never come nowhere near anything that involves the government of Jamaica last night. I remember me telling you, and I don't care who want Bex and talk about, we fit gel together and we are one people. Tanya Stevens not for come nowhere near nothing for your government. See? Big up yourself, Craig. So let's get into the Prime Minister's speech.
In the first session, I mentioned the recent passage of Hurricane Melissa, one of the most powerful hurricanes recorded in the Atlantic. The true economic impact will take months to fully quantify. However, preliminary estimates already indicate catastrophic losses. Prime Minister Carney pointed out that it is estimated that with lost in terms of physical damage approximately $8.8 billion, or the equivalent of approximately 41% of our GDP. 45 lives were tragically lost. This devastation occurred despite years of strengthening preparedness guided by robust protocols and legislation. For Jamaica and for other small island developing states in Caribbean and beyond, the climate crisis is not abstract. It is not an academic consideration. It is an existential threat. A single climate-driven event can erase decades of progress, destabilize public finances, and constrain development trajectories overnight. Disaster risk reduction is therefore not merely a policy priority, it is fundamental to our national survival. Recovery and reconstruction will be a formidable task, but Jamaica is not daunted. We are determined to rebuild stronger, more resilient, and more sustainable. We have already activated our multi-layer disaster risk financing framework to support immediate response and early recovery. However, the scale of the challenge far exceeds what small economies can shoulder alone. We will need your support. On behalf of the government and people of Jamaica, I extend deep appreciation to our international partners, some of whom are represented here today. Their assistance has been vital in our disaster response and relief efforts. The unprecedented strength of Hurricane Melissa, following the wake of last year's Hurricane Beryl and other weather events, these ground our global call to action. The world must confront this crisis by urgently reducing emissions in line with the 1.5 degrees Celsius.
So I'm bringing you guys this speech, because I saw yesterday that a prominent PNP blogger was on his live with hundreds of persons saying that the Prime Minister went to Africa while people are dying in Jamaica, and that though the Prime Minister went to Africa at the G20 summit, they, the PNP, and their bloggers, have not heard the Prime Minister mention anything about Hurricane Melissa. That is what they said, They also said that the Prime Minister is at the summit talking about the building of hotels and AI and AI City. So, may I bring on the Prime Minister's speech so you can share it with the people, them my people. See, because I don't understand why we are going to this deluge of misinformation for absolutely no reason at all. These people are hell-bent on tearing down the image of Jamaica and tearing down the government and tearing down the Prime Minister. One even sent me a voice note to the Prime Minister, son of Batman, and the Prime Minister and Juliet Ghana, Africa, and Jamaican people hungry. See it? And that they sent me a voice message and say, see? So, we continue to listen.
With the 1.5 degrees Celsius target. Failure to do so guarantees more frequent and more destructive storms for countries like Jamaica, which have made the economic sacrifices but have had them undone by exogenous climate factors. Resilience must also therefore be our guiding principle. Resilience is not ideology, it is practicality. Disasters impose undeniable economic costs. Investing in resilient infrastructure, diversified energy systems, and disaster preparedness is simply sound economics. Resilience is the bridge between climate ambition and fiscal prudence. It is where all nations can find common ground. We therefore call on G20 members to support climate finance at the level, scale, and concessionality required for vulnerable nations to survive and thrive. This includes financing to rebuild climate-resilient infrastructure, expand the risk transfer and disaster insurance instruments, strengthen agricultural and food systems, given the severe damage wrought on a sector central to jobs, food security, and rural livelihoods. Jamaica is doing its part. We are committed to a just energy transition and to achieving at least 50% renewable electricity generation by 2030. But as is the case with other small island developing states, attaining such targets requires partnerships, technology transfer.
The PNP is also, their surrogates is also posting on social media that our debt to GDP is now at 115%. Now, how debt to GDP is measured either quarterly or annually. See? Now, it has not been a year since Melissa. See? And we not start spending money yet. Right? Plus, we have look financing coming in. Look grant, look this, look that coming. So we not touch no money yet. So somebody tell me how on God's green earth, see, our debt to GDP, which is at 68% now, move from that right back up to 115. Who do the calculation there? Somebody tell me. Yeah, why?
Sessional financing and capacity building from major economies. I close by encouraging us to build formidable partnerships that will strengthen our disaster resilience and accelerate the just transition to clean energy solutions for the benefit of our present and future generations.
Now, let me just say this, my people. Tanya Stevens will never look good yet. Always look like some old dirty clothes. We never see a water boot cake up with mud yet. So Tanya Stevens will look. See, I don't care who want Bex. See, Tanya Stevens never for them nowhere near nothing for the government. And I am upset with Mama Babsy for inviting her. Anybody wants to say me political, that a fool no business. The way how Tanya Stevens have behaved in the last couple of years, she not supposed to be invited for nothing. Not even a concert enough to do in Jamaica. Me say that. See? She are Africa, not for them nowhere near nothing in a Jamaica for we. We don't need for them help. For them help can stay. See? And even the song that she went to sing. Even the song that she went to sing. You can see that it had an agenda. See? Now, I saw Mark Golden last night. Have you guys seen any other person from the opposition? I saw Mark Golden in a Jamaica top, so he's taking in time coming around. Maybe he's listening to us that we don't see him wearing nothing with green panny. So he wear a shirt last night with the Jamaican flags on it, and that is a welcome sight. All Bucky Swamps. See, so if you're coming to our country and you're now domicile in there and you're a resident in there, we still don't want you as Prime Minister, but we're glad to see you wear the colours now, finally. After how many years? See? But back to Tanya Stevens. Big up yourself, Tanya. Jai, big up on yourself. Clive, big up yourself. Anita Earlford, Father Dark Knight, big up yourself as well. Hassan, big up yourself. Caroline, big up yourself. Craig, big up. Michael, big up yourself as well. Corrine, big up. See, Elaine McClarity, good morning. Donald, big up yourself as well. See, and Caroline Clark, big up. Winford, big up yourself as well. Tanya Stevens always a cuss Andrew and Carly, all the Prime Minister, big nose boy. What am I doing near nothing for we? See? We know say it's not a party political thing, but still we put on here for we minister put on it. If they know we near nothing for we Tanya Stevens. Me here she call the Prime Minister big nose boy and a disrespect the Prime Minister. And say Prime Minister and his wife a thief. Tanya Stevens said that. Nothing. She ain't for them here. They don't invite her or nothing. Not even devotion. She don't get invited to. See? Now, Darrell Vaz, my people, have indicated that this will be his last term as Member of Parliament. You know, I want to reach out to Darrell Vaz by way of this medium and tell him that he should consider doing another term. Jamaica needs him and we have a lot of talent in the party, and we have a lot of younger persons who are capable. But I believe we need sometime some of the elder them. We need some wisdom, and we need some people who, are respected, that walks with, a bit of oomph. So we need people like Darrell Vaz. I know he'll be there in the background, but we need people with his leadership. And the way how Darrell Vaz have operated over the last couple of weeks and months, really prove that he is one of the capable leaders. And if Darrell Vaz was 10, 15 years younger, I would throw him right in there with Pernell Charles and Floyd Green and Matthew Samuda for the leadership of the party. So I want to say to Darrell Vaz, please consider doing another term. I saw Anne-Marie Vaz on the ground as well. I am really upset about that as well. I know she might have her people, them just like how we liberate them down at Westmoreland. But, if you see how they deal with her, and then they smile up with her now, and, but she's a loving person. She's going to forgive them, and she's going to go back and work with them, I am sure. But my personal feelings is she should have met them go for so I'm over. Anyway, that'll just be the people. So let's get into the AI audio. But before we get into that though, I want to say the police commissioner, he also can't stay forever, my people. I believe a police commissioner only stays for 2 terms. I believe that this PC is such a good one. They should bend the rules and allow him to stay for another 2 terms. And I believe that at the end of his 4 terms, I believe that Jamaica will be a model society. And the police continue to do what they can to bring down the numbers. I am also going to go through the numbers this morning, but we have a clip of, which is not long, it is not a very long clip this morning, of what happened in the aftermath of the hurricane in the airports, my people. So we're going to play that, and then we're going to go to the police statistics. As it coming to the end of this month, we usually do a live at the end of every month to see the numbers of murders in Jamaica so far. So we are going to move into the last month of the year, and we are going to give the numbers as it relates to the amount of murders, when and where. Not when, but where in Jamaica. See? So listen to this, and then we move to that.
How quickly an airport. Have you ever wondered how quickly an airport can reopen after a hurricane levels an entire region? The answer might shock you. In this video, we're going to break down the complete step-by-step timeline of airport reopenings following Hurricane Melissa. From urgent emergency relief flights to the gradual return of commercial service, and finally, the full restoration of normal operations, you'll discover exactly what happens, why it matters, and how it impacts not just travelers, but entire communities and economies. By the end, you'll have a behind-the-scenes look at disaster recovery few people ever see. Hurricane Melissa struck Jamaica on October 28, 2025, and it was a storm unlike any other in recent history. Sustained winds reached a staggering 185 miles per hour, making it one of the most powerful hurricanes to hit the island in decades. Power grids collapsed, roads were washed away, airports closed, and thousands of residents were forced to evacuate. News outlets across the globe chronicled the devastation, emphasizing the urgency of restoring critical infrastructure. Among the most crucial of these infrastructures were the airports. Airports are more than just hubs for traffic.
I say bend the law, I mean if you do nothing illegal. And that me I say. See like how we went to court so the DPP could have stay on. Same thing me I talk about. See? We don't talk about broken law and do nothing criminal. See?
They are lifelines for emergency supplies, relief teams, and the rapid movement of goods and people. The timeline of reopening these airports provides a remarkable story of priorities, resilience, and hope in the face of catastrophe. Let's unpack this journey together, step by step. To fully understand the process, we can divide the reopening into three distinct phases: the immediate relief and emergency flights, the gradual resumption of limited commercial service, and the final phase, full operational restoration. Each phase comes with its own set of challenges, strategies, and stories of resilience. In the immediate hours after Hurricane Melissa passed, the first and most urgent priority was to get relief flights in the air. The Norman Manley International Airport in King.
Listen to how quick the airport up back, my people. And aid touched the ground. As a matter of fact, the government was pre-planning, you know. You see the week there, where the hurricane was taking so long to come, and the government realized that it is going to be catastrophic. See, whether it made landfall or not, it was going to be, you know. See, the sad part is the eye made landfall, but the government was preparing. If you go on the websites and see when the government asks for certain country for aid, it was weeks or a week before the hurricane made landfall. They asked even for the generators that they got, you know. The United States was standing ready to land within hours of the hurricane passing, my people. Coordinated by the Jamaican government.
Despite the storm's ferocity, was surprisingly resilient. Officials reported that, although there was some superficial damage, the airport's main runway and key facilities remained largely intact. By October 29, less than 24 hours after the hurricane had passed, Norman Manley was cleared for emergency operations. Relief flights carrying medical supplies, food, water, and first responders began arriving by the afternoon, signaling the very first steps toward recovery. Meanwhile, in the western part of Jamaica, Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay faced a more difficult challenge. The hurricane inflicted heavier damage here, roofs were torn off, runways suffered flooding, and several support facilities were rendered temporarily unusable. Despite this, by October 30, emergency crews had cleared sufficient areas to allow relief flights to land.
29, 30, 2 days after the hurricane, they started to try to get Sangster operational again. 2 days. So when you hear PNP run them out in a months before the airport was fully operational again. All two of them.
Take off. Airlines, including American Airlines, were quick to coordinate special flights, bringing in essential supplies. This phase is critical because without immediate relief flights, the damage would remain isolated, aid delivery would slow, and thousands of vulnerable residents could be left without access to essentials. It's a high-stakes, all-hands-on-deck effort where every hour counts. But what marks the transition from emergency operations to commercial service? That is where Phase 2 begins. Once airports are structurally assessed and deemed safe, the next step is a carefully controlled resumption of limited commercial flights. At Norman Manley International Airport, the shift from relief-only operations to accepting paying passengers was remarkably swift. By Thursday morning, the day after relief flights began, commercial operations resumed. Airlines coordinated with local authorities to ensure passenger safety, verify runway and...
Big up Daryl Vaz. I don't think Daryl Vaz... If Daryl Vaz asleep, I know. But in the immediate aftermath of the hurricane, I don't believe that Daryl Vaz slept one night. You know?
Integrity and confirm that essential services like refueling, ground transportation, and customs were operational. Sangster International Airport, however, required a more phased approach. Relief flights continued for a few days while teams assessed the damage. Only after a thorough inspection of the runways, radar systems, and other critical infrastructure did limited commercial flights resume. This highlights an often overlooked aspect of disaster recovery. Airport reopening is not a simple on/off switch. Every operational component, communication systems, logistics, power supply, and access roads must be fully functional before passengers can safely travel. Why does this matter? Beyond just getting people back in the air, limited commercial service signals the beginning of economic recovery. Tourism, a lifeline for Jamaica's economy, starts to flow again. Stranded travelers can finally return home, cargo can begin moving, and businesses can reconnect with global partners. Yet, even when flights resume, it is only a partial return to normalcy. Roads may still be impassable, hotels may be damaged, and airlines may operate on reduced schedules, creating a fragmented recovery experience. The final phase is full operational restoration. When all major airports are back to standard service, infrastructure is repaired, and flights are running at pre-disaster capacity. For Jamaica, this meant more than just reopening runways. Sangster International required extensive repairs, including roof replacements, interior refurbishments, and flood mitigation on surrounding grounds. Even after the first relief flights touched down, full passenger service was suspended until these repairs were completed. Airlines also play a crucial role in this phase. Official statements from carriers such as American Airlines emphasized that full service would resume when conditions allow, which depends not only on airport readiness, but also on the wider transport network, roads, accommodations, and support services. Full restoration enables supply chains to function normally, cargo flights to operate efficiently, and the local economy to regain momentum. This stage is about more than just reopening doors. It signals a transition from emergency mode to business as usual. It communicates stability to investors, restores confidence among residents, and demonstrates that recovery is tangible. Yet, even as airports return to full service, challenges remain. Here's the twist that many people don't realize. While airports may reopen for relief flights within 24 to 48 hours, achieving full commercial recovery often takes weeks or even months. In Jamaica, Norman Manley International reopened swiftly for both relief and limited commercial flights, but Sangster International and other regional facilities required far more time due to deeper structural damage. This discrepancy created a significant geographic imbalance. Residents and businesses in Western parishes faced extended isolation, slower access to relief, and delayed economic activity. Reopening an airport headline might give the impression of normalcy, but reality tells a different story. Travelers often face ongoing delays, limited schedules, and disrupted connections. Infrastructure in surrounding areas, roads, power grids, and hotels may still be impaired. News reports from the time highlighted hundreds of travelers still waiting for flights, emphasizing that reopening is merely the first chapter of a much longer story. In essence, the true measure of recovery isn't just a flight taking off. It's the return of a fully functioning ecosystem. Airports, airlines, ground services, hotels, roads, and local commerce, all operating together. Only then can a region truly claim to have recovered from a catastrophic event like Hurricane Melissa. The airport reopening timeline after Hurricane Melissa demonstrates a carefully structured and phased approach to disaster recovery. Immediately following the hurricane, emergency relief flights are prioritized. These flights carry essential supplies such as food, water, medical equipment, and personnel to stabilize affected communities. They are critical not only for addressing urgent humanitarian needs, but also for restoring a sense of security and hope between government agencies, airlines, and rapid assessment of damaged infrastructure to ensure safe takeoffs. Once emergency relief operations are underway and essential support has reached the affected areas, the focus gradually shifts to limited commercial operations. This phase allows the airport to reopen partially, accommodating essential travelers, business personnel, and returning residents. These limited services help revive economic activity, support local businesses, and reconnect communities with the broader region. Airports act as lifelines, enabling commerce, tourism, and communication to resume even amid ongoing recovery efforts. The final phase is full restoration, signaling that the airport has returned to regular operations and that the surrounding infrastructure, logistics networks, and local economy are on the path to normalcy. Full reopening reflects the culmination of coordinated recovery efforts and serves as a symbolic and practical marker that life is steadily returning to routine. It highlights that while reopening a single airport is a vital milestone, true recovery is far more complex, touching every facet of society, from daily routines to large-scale economic systems. If this deep dive into disaster recovery and airport reopening after Hurricane Melissa gave you a new perspective, please like this video and share it with someone who loves behind-the-scenes insights into global events.
So, Ian Fleming is completely operational. Norman Manley is completely operational. Sangster is completely operational. Although there are bits of Sangsters that is still being worked on, but the runway is completely open. Work has been done on the tower. You know, work is being done to bolster up flood defenses in Sangster International Airport, my people. But big up to Daryl Vaz. He did a brilliant job. Leonie Clark, big up yourself. Doreen, big up yourself as well. Shine It, big up Camille. Big up, we all on the late, you know. What happened? Go and bite out on the neck ching. Franklin, big up yourself. Angela Green, big up. Diana Eccleston, big up yourself as well. Denise, big up yourself. Dwight, big up. Rosalie, big up yourself. King, big up yourself. Shane, big up yourself. And Keisha, big up yourself. See? Now, we are going to get into the murder stats. Now, my people. So, I don't know, we like to do this every close to the ending of the month. You know, when we get a chance to. There have been several times when things hot and you know we don't get to do the things about, you know. We're going to do it this morning. Let's see, yeah, load slow, my people. Get look at time, make it load. You know. The police commissioner, I have seen him out using a chainsaw, even machete, a chop down tree out that way. I have seen him, you know, helping out mothers and babies. I have seen him on rooftops, putting on back roof. I have never seen a police commissioner like this, my people. You know, and on top of that, he is showing a lot of results, my people. Jamaica is showing a lot of results as it relates to crime fighting. See? So let's get the stats now. Serious crime reports for January 1st to November 2nd, 2025, and the comparative period for 2024. See? So I want to listen up now. Last year, up to this point, in Westmoreland, we already had 95 murders by November 22nd last year. See? No, I mean I have no word on that. Is a restaurant, so I assume said that somebody left his stove on and you know he catch a fire. So me no know. Charlene, big up yourself, Charlene. So Westmoreland up to this period last year saw 95 murders. So far, they have only had 35 murders in Westmoreland. That is 60 less murders, and we are experiencing a 63.2 reduction in murders in Westmoreland. So big up my parish and big up to the man or the men and females in blue who is out there fighting the battle and is winning, my people. See? And we not talk about no police they go do wrong things and go kill innocent people. We not big up them the one day. See? But for the vast majority of police officers who are doing their jobs and it is bearing fruit. See? Hanover. Up to this. Big up, you know, Doreen. Up to this period, same time last year in Hanover, Hanover experienced 43 murders up to this period last year. So far this year, they have only had 20 murders. I remember there was a time when scamming was out of control, gang violence was out of control in Hanover. Every other day or so, 3 people were being killed in Westmoreland and Hanover, or 5 in Westmoreland and 3 in Hanover. You know, they were actively battling with Montego Bay for which one of those 3 can become the top murder capitals. See? So, Hanover experienced up to the same period last year, 43 murders. So far, they have only had 20 murders. That is 23 murders less. And they are experiencing a minus 53.5 percent reduction in murders. See? St. James, up to the same period last year, recorded 118 murders up to November 22nd last year. So far this year, they have only recorded 49 murders, and that is a 69%. That is 69 murders less than the same period last year. In St. James, they are experiencing a 58.5 reduction in murders. Chilani experienced to the same period last year 22 murders. So far, have recorded 12 murders, that is 10 less, and they are experiencing a 45.5% reduction in murders. St. Anne's, up to the same period last year, recorded 45 murders. So far this year, they have recorded 54 murders in St. Anne's. See? So that is 9 more murders than they experienced last year in St. Anne's. And so far, they are seeing a 20% uptick in murders in St. Anne's. So St. Anne's police need to get the handle on that. See? St. Mary, up to the same period last year, experienced 25 murders. So far this year, they have experienced 23. That is 3 murders less. And they're seeing a 25% reduction. Sorry, a 12% reduction in murders. See? Portland experienced 12 murders to the same period last year. So far in Portland, they have only experienced 9 murders. That is 3 less up to the same period last year. And they're seeing a 25% reduction in murders in Portland. And if you remember earlier on in the year when we were reading the statistics, Portland was one of them that murders was high, even though only few, but because it is not the norm, it was high. So they managed to get it under control in Portland. See? St. Elizabeth, up to the same period last year, experienced 30 murders last year. So far, they have only had 14 murders in St. Elizabeth. That is 16 lives saved, and they are experiencing a 53.3 reduction in murders. Manchester, to the same period last year, experienced 45 murders up to the same period. So far, they have only experienced 30 murders. That is 15 lives saved, and they are experiencing a 33.3% reduction in murders. See? Still that a lot of our people logging out. I have to change my people. Well, we have to find a way to deal with the differences them different. If a man tell me say, if you go suck out my mother, and me tell him so if you go suck out back in mother. And that's how it's supposed to done. Me not supposed to stab him. I'm not supposed to thump me. See? And that's how it's supposed to be done. So we people them not only violent, but they are illiterate. See? Because if a man tell me so if he suck my mother, me I gotta tell him so if he suck back in mother, but I don't really cause it hurt. Me just tell him so cause him tell me so. Yes, I say, but we can ignore it too. A lot of the time. See? Clarendon experienced 62 murders same period last year. Big up yourself, Father Victor. See? So far in Clarendon, they have only experienced 36 murders. That is 26 lives saved. And they are experiencing a 41.9% reduction in murders in Clarendon. Kingston Eastern recorded 53 murders to the same period last year. So far, they have only experienced 22 murders. That is 31 lives saved. And they are experiencing a 58.5% reduction in Kingston Eastern. Kingston Central, to the same period last year, recorded 24 murders. So far this year, they have only recorded 16. That is 8 lives saved. And they are experiencing a 33.3% reduction in Kingston Central. Was I saying Central or Eastern? So Eastern is 53 murders last year. So far 22. 31 life saved, and they're experiencing a 58.5% reduction in Eastern. Central Kingston, 24 murders last year, 16 so far this year, 8 life saved, and they're experiencing a 33.3% reduction in Kingston Central. Kingston Western experienced 53 murders up to the same period last year. So far this year, they have only experienced 31 murders, 22 life saved, and they're experiencing a 41.5% reduction in Kingston Western. St. Andrew Central recorded 68 murders, and so far this year, they have only recorded 30 murders. That is 38 life saved, and they're experiencing a 55.9% reduction in St. Andrew Central. Now, St. Andrew South, which is Mark Golding's division, policing division, see? Last year experienced 107 murders up to the same period last year, which is very high. So far this year, they are seeing a reduction. They have only experienced 70 murders, but that is the highest amount of murders that we have seen in any one police division so far this year, and it is in Mark Golding's division. See? However, they have saved 37 lives, and they are seeing a 34.6% reduction in St. Andrew South. St. Andrew North experienced 59 murders last year. So far this year, they have experienced 32 murders, 27 lives saved, 45.8% reduction in murders in St. Catherine North. St. Andrew North. See? St. Catherine North experienced 88 murders to the same period last year. So far this year, they have only recorded 57 murders. That is 31 lives saved. And there, see, I get a knock on my door, my people. I got a pass, and I come. All right, my people. Sorry about that. Where were we? All right, St. Catherine North experienced 88 murders last year. So far this year, 57. 31 lives saved. And 35.2 reduction in St. Catherine North. St. Catherine South, 75 murders up to the same period last year. So far, they have recorded 48 murders, 27 lives saved, and they are experiencing a 36% reduction in St. Catherine South. St. Thomas experienced 17 murders up to the same period last year. So far, they have experienced 17 murders. So they are dead even in St. Thomas, my people. They have not saved any life, and they have not lost any extra life. Sorry. Now, apart from St. Anne's, that is seeing a 20% increase in murders, every other constituency in a whole of Jamaica is experiencing, except for St. Thomas. Except for St. Thomas and Portland. See? So every other police division is experiencing a decline. And St. Thomas, I don't know how to gauge that. Do we say that that is a failure or that is a pass mark? We don't know. What do you think, my people? They have recorded the same amount of murders up to the same period last year and the same this year. See? Here is where the concern, we still have 1 month left, and I am hoping that we will come in under 700 murders. Overall for last year up to this period, we already recorded 1,041 murders last year up to the same period. See, so far this year, and we have 1 month left in the year, we have recorded 604 murders so far. See, that is 437 lives saved, and we are seeing an overall 42% reduction in murders in Jamaica. See, so hopefully the government, moving to all of the hotspots them. Everybody, every area that there is some inkling of crime. See, the government need to move back in there, call a state of emergency, call curfews, and try to drive out the criminal them, try to push them in a jagnet, and either end them or lock them up. One out of two. See? So 2024 up to this period, we saw 1,041 murders up to this period last year. So far, with 1 month left to go in the year, we are seeing 604 murders. I have never seen this in my lifetime. I have never lived in a time, because the last time the murder rate was under 500 was in 1988. I believe the year 1989 saw it at, just over 500. But I have never seen murder statistics like these of 600 and odd. So hopefully we can get it, we can keep it under 700 for the next 1 month. And I am hopeful that the powers that be will be able to do that. And we will come in just under 700 murders by January 1st. And that will be a mammoth statement. That will be, something that many of us have not seen in our lifetime. Now, for the persons who are here that is of similar age to me, probably just a little bit older than me, probably 40-year-old or so, they probably would remember. By the time, I don't know, probably by me born, them would have been 10. So maybe they would have remember a time where Jamaica was extremely peaceful. Well, not really, because the 80s wasn't really peaceful either. The 70s was definitely not peaceful. And when the 90s came, that is when all breaks was off, all of the discipline, everything was bad in the 90s. People don't want to admit it, but that is when Jamaica really started to take a turn for the worse in every single way, in the 90s. I am a brother from Trinidad. How are you going? Yes, we have our challenges too. All the best, man. Big up yourself, Colin. Big up yourself. Much love. Thanks for passing through. So we have two police divisions, that is not really turning up. But, we can't really complain, because it's not going to be perfect, my people. See? But compared to where we were last year and the year before, and remember that I believe we saw a 19% reduction in murders last year, and the year before that we saw 8% reduction in murders. So we went from 8 to 19, and now we are moving from 19 to 45. So next year, hopefully we can slash that 42% reduction into half and come in at 22. All right, if I have a 32, would I be grateful for that? So if we can come in under 700 murders, my people, and then next year we can come in at 400, then, that would be welcome. But let us see. The PNP is trying to say that it has nothing to do with government policy, but it does. And big up the PC, big up the police commissioner, big up all of the police them way I do their work and are model citizens of this nation. You know, I was almost a police myself, you know, my people. You know, but a good thing say, me never bother cause Shanice not like policeman. Shanice say police are wicked. You know, but we would be wicked though. You know, but anyhow, we are glad that these things are happening and we can see them now live and in living colors, and we are seeing the results, my people. We are seeing where the government has pumped the money. The government buy new vehicle. The government make police more comfortable and give them more money. Then build better stations with better things. See? So hopefully we can come in. But this was left to fester, and I posted a video this morning on Facebook where my team and I had challenged Mr. Ingram. You know, when Peter Phillips, Dr. Omar Davis, and Carl Blythe and several members of the PNP went to the national arena at a known criminal's funeral, you know, and I posted that video on Facebook where we challenged Mr. Ingram on it. You know, so the PNP knew of the crime and criminalities and that of the criminals that was happening in Jamaica and was going on in Jamaica, and they did nothing about it. They left it to fester, my people, you know, and that is why things broke out how it did. So thank God we have a leader now who nobody in Jamaica can call Andrew Holness name saying affiliated to no criminal. Nobody can say that about Andrew Holness. And Andrew Holness is now reaping the fruits of his labor. I saw Andrew Holness beg the PNP, missy that. Beg them, say please, who people them are dead. Them the time that them are behead people down a Spanish town. You remember that time there? When people afraid, people not even want to walk off at 3 o'clock in the evening in a Spanish town. You remember that time there? Where people head them and find and start cut off people head. Andrew Holness ball and begging people, say please do not help we. We go off a criminal, them we take them off a road because they're too dangerous. Peter Bunting at the time outright refuse. Because PNP could have scored on political capital after that. Because had they moved that time and brought down criminality in Jamaica, you know, the PNP would not have had crime to put in their arsenal to say, look, the government is not doing anything about crime, trust us. See, it never worked though, because in the 2020 election when they try, it backfire. So it never worked anyway. So they couldn't help. So we could have gotten all of these numbers down long time ago. But because of the PNP, you know, we failed to go after a criminal them because a lot of them were affiliated to the PNP. See? I think that the stats gonna be because the criminals are going to get it this Christmas. The police not joke exactly. Brother, may I tell you to put on a gun them. Put on a gun them. You know, hard. If you go down and want a mechanic, go sit down and go turn up in front time and make him show you what to do. You know, hard. Even if you can't read, you can't learn it. See? You know, hard if you go chill out with one of your electrician bridging. See? You know, hard. See? He can show you where black wire to go and the red wire to go. And if they are a blue wire and a green wire, he can show you where to go to. You know, hard to learn. See? Now, if I can't do measurement and anything, I would advise if you, and enough man me know I can't read and then can do bricklaying good. Then can do tiling good. See? They are visual learners. You know, hard. If you feel like I can't read and you can't work in a bank, you know, hard if you go learn a trade. At least if you earn a trade. If you learn a trade. When a man say, yo, come put in one slide window for me now. You say, boss, you 30,000 or 40,000, you know. You either have to take it or leave it. It depends on when you need and how fast you need it. You might pay money. See? So put on your gun them, my G. And all when you thief somebody money, by the time you sit down and you not materialize the money back in nothing. You're not investing in nothing. So soon it done. You have to go back go thief again and criminal. Odds are police will catch you and kill you. See? And that's how Jamaica go now. So please, my G, put on your gun. Go and go learn trade. Go and go do local welding. See, in Jamaica about to build back, you know, everybody wants somebody to build back a roof. We're going to start build concrete house in their jobs now. See, we need people to tie up steel. We need electrician. We need plumber. We need tiler. we need mason, we need carpenter, we need everybody. See? Go and go learn a trade. Even if you can't read, just go with your bridging, making sure you what to do. Just be interested, no man. Other than that, you go dead. See? You go dead. I left a girl. The rest away, well, the rest away. Because I retire. But one time I never retire, the rest away would I get a girl. See? And you're dead like dog. Mortgage name you. You see me I say? So, just put on your gun in my G and just do what you do. But anyway, my people, I got to go to work to know, you know. So, I got to get ready to go to work, my people. So, I see wife style politics says she just awake. I bite out the neck ching for you late. See? Big up yourself, Tyrone. And I will soon this evening at the regular time between 6:30 and 7. See? But me have to go to work now, go see if I can earn piece of butter car. You know, we can't buy the broke life, you know, we like to buy perfume, and we can't buy one squeeze of toothpaste, we have to buy one whole case of toothpaste because we have to brush our teeth 2 times a day at least, minimum. You know, we need soap to wash our armpit and them little thing there. So we can't sit down and rub out with hand migger. We have to go to work. See? And we woman they need soap to wash out them fan, well, soap not for using a woman fan dangles. But you don't know what I say. See? Anyway, big up on yourself, my people. I'll soon look more. See? Show labor.